We're back. The BB&J show is back. I am, of course, not BB, which I erroneously introduced myself as the last time. I am Jay. That handsome devil is BB. We've been gone, but not forgotten. At least I hope. It's been some time, but we're back and we're better than ever. BB, how are you feeling?
Right now I am full of joy because I know for the both of us, we've actually been wanting to come back for a long time, but you know,
Yeah,
it's been a
it's
journey.
yeah, it's been a few false starts. How many? This is like our third or fourth, if not
Think
more,
so, yeah,
times that we've
somewhere around there.
scheduled to like, oh yeah, let's do it on this day. And so we've had this planned out. We are changing a little bit of the format, and hopefully, you guys enjoy this a lot more than before. You enjoy the new sort of road that we're going down. We are going to go for sort of shorter episodes. Um, as much as it was fun to do what we used to do, sitting here for an hour plus, mostly me yelling about Halo or some other thing. Um, we felt it was time to modernize and sort of update the format. So I'm excited to bring it to you. I know BB is brimming with excitement to bring it to you.
Oh heck yeah! It's funny because we talked about it for a while when we kind of had to take a break, and
Mm-hmm.
like you said, it was been like what 4 or 5 times where it's just like, yeah, let's go full on, and then something happens, and it's like
Yeah,
it's a bit hard, but hey, we're here, we're finally doing it, and I can't wait to keep on going.
yeah, and the first thing I will demystify everything. Sorry, BB, I'm going to give away trade secrets right here. When you see the episodes this month, no, we don't have specific outfits picked out for this. We're recording a bunch of episodes all at once. It's
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
kind of it's kind of one of our ways of
This is our
solving.
uniform, our new uniform for the.
Yeah, the official BB&J uniform. Get yours today. No, we kind of wanted to, because like we would sit down and we'd have these ideas for like, oh, we want to do this and then this and this
Mhm.
and this, and then life gets in the way. So sort of what we're gonna do is we're gonna shorten the episodes, and then we're gonna record multiple at the same time. So you're gonna see a bunch of episodes this month. We're gonna look the same, but it will
Oh,
be because we all recorded them one sitting. So without further ado, let us begin the episode, shall we?
yeah. Let's dive right in with something that we normally do when the month's about to start, and that is new game releases that everyone is like have been waiting for since like 2-3 years ago, when like
Hell yeah,
games were
take my
pushed
money.
back. Um,
Hmm.
we'll start off with, I think this is going to be the heavy hitter, the Callisto Protocol. This game has been, I think it got pushed back a bit, if not once, at least twice. It's from the creators of the original Dead Space. Essentially, I think this is kind of like their new version of that. And it's coming out December 2nd on all platforms. I'm actually really excited for that one. Next up on December 2nd, there's actually 3 games that come out, or no, 4, sorry, that can't come out that same day. So it's kind of interesting to see all these new releases on the same day. I guess you kind of have like a variety. Marvel's Midnight Suns. This one was kind of talked about. I mean, a little bit. I've actually kept up with it. Um, but this one is their like kind of like card turn-based game, where you get to create your own character in the Marvel universe. And it focuses on, as the title says, the Midnight Suns. Also coming out on December 2nd on multiple platforms. The third game in a franchise that's just at this point they're just gonna start making anything, I think, at the with this one. But Need for Speed Unbound, a new Need
Oh
for
god.
Speed game coming out December 2nd as well. Um, don't really need a summary on this one other than they're going for a new style with gameplay. It's kind of like animated and realistic as at the same time. It almost looks like
Okay.
comic bookish. I mean, I guess they're trying to keep it different each one. Um,
Yeah.
And then also on December 2nd, Warhammer 40k Shooters Blood and Teeth. Just another Warhammer 40k game. That's what I can say pretty much that people are pretty excited for, also on multiple platforms. This other game, December 6th, Hello Neighbor 2. I don't really know much of it. I know there was the
Mhm.
first one, but that's all I
Yeah.
really know. It's kind of like a
Yeah.
hide and seek game, I believe. But people have been
Mhm.
excited for this game, at least to my knowledge, which has been pretty interesting to kind of follow that one. But I mean, eh, you know, it's just another game. It gives like I said, it gives variety for this month
Yeah.
coming up. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited just to kind of like, I mean, who doesn't love games, right? Just I hope that they've been pushed back for good reasons, right? I mean, they're
Yeah.
usually always good reasons, but yeah, we'll see what happens with that one.
Mm.
Next game coming up is going to be something that we actually saw this on the Xbox showcase.
Oh god.
And I think the trailer tried to do justice to explaining what this was, but it didn't necessarily. I don't think it even needed an explanation, but it was just very odd and kind of interesting. But it was
Mhm.
the High on Life game. I don't know if you remember
Oh
that with
god.
the talking guns.
Yeah. It's hard to forget that game.
Yeah. We have a release date of December 12th. So like I said, this month is kind of packed with a lot of stuff that you can try out now. And this one, I'm actually interested in trying this game. So this
It's a
was gonna
Game
be
Pass game, right?
interesting. Yeah, that's actually a Game Pass game. Yeah, and also Hello Neighbor 2 is a Game Pass game. Um, and then kind of closing out the month for December is another one that's pretty big. It didn't really have a release date for a while until a few months ago when they did the showcase at Square Enix. But Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII Reunion
Mm.
or remastered reunion, remade. I don't know at this point. But yes, I know a lot of you.
Remix.
Pretty much, yeah. Um, yeah, this game comes out December 13th, and I know a lot of Final Fantasy fans are super excited. I'm actually excited for this because they kind of changed the gameplay with this one to match the new remake that they made, or the most recent
Mm.
remake, right? I know this
Mhm.
game was a little bit kind of like turn based, just kind of like the classic ones, but it had like a slot machine like attack modes. It was kind of strange the gameplay, but a lot of
That's
fans
what you get with JRPGs.
loved it. Yeah. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up December's you know highly anticipated games for that month. Is there any game in here that kind of sticks out to you, Jay?
Well, I'll say right now, the Callisto Protocol, they're doing a very big advertising
Oh
push.
yeah. Oh yeah,
I
definitely.
cannot I cannot go like 40 seconds without seeing a commercial for that blasted game. And
Yeah.
that's not to say it's a bad thing. Um, like it looks interesting, but it's not my genre, right? Like
Yeah.
stranded alone in a horror situation is not really my kind of game. Um, I did play a little bit of Alien Isolation earlier this year,
Mm,
which was kind of interesting. But it looks interesting. No, I don't think it's going to be something I'm going to be all that interested in. Other than that, Hello Neighbor, I remember the first one. I never played it,
okay.
but I remember hearing about it, and I think it kind of suffered the sort of. I think if I'm remembering correctly, I may be wrong on my timing. I'm an American. I'm used to being wrong, but I feel like it came out before sort of the pandemic and before everybody migrated online.
Hmm.
And I'm not sure if it's multiplayer, but if it is, I feel like it probably suffered a little bit of coming out before the pandemic because you know how Phasmo sort of took
Mm.
off
Okay. Yeah.
during the pandemic. I feel like
Yeah.
Hello Neighbor could have taken off as well. It just didn't really kind of got forgotten a little bit. So I'm interested to see how the sequel comes out.
Yeah.
and I just want to see how wacky and zany High on Life is. Um, Crisis Core
Yeah.
really has not really interested in it, but we know a Crisis Core fan, a very big Crisis
Oh
Core
yeah.
fan, who I know is no doubt excited. So excited for her, and yeah, Warhammer 40K. I miss that whole train. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
I can't really get inside. Isn't now correct me, Vermintide not the same universe? Or is it the same universe?
I mean, it technically is. There's, it's one of those franchises where like it's in the same universe, but it's not in the same universe. It's like there's just different lore, different like places.
Gotcha.
But I believe the 40K is a specific universe. Now, if you're a 40K fan and you want to correct me, please do. I don't. I love the the Warhammer figurines and some of the 40K games.
Hmm.
But I'm not like I don't know much about the lore. But there's it's a gigantic like kind of universe. Like it's just really massive.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's somewhere in there. Kind of like Final
See,
Fantasy.
I will be. I'll tell you right now, as somebody who is not sort of well versed in this universe, I'm kind of ignorant of this universe. It kind of almost presents an entry barrier, if you will,
Hmm.
because it's like it just feels like there's so many games. Like it all feels like it's all part of the same thing. Because you hear, Warhammer, Warhammer 40K, Warhammer this. So it's kind of like, I don't know. I'm not trying to make a grander state on it. It's just sort of where I'm coming from as a gamer who I feel like early on I kind of was very niche into gaming. It's only been the last maybe 10 or so years that I've sort of expanded my horizon in gaming, and I've missed a lot of like BioShocks and things like
Hmm.
that. So when I look back at certain franchises like that, I kind of get a little like, what the hell's going on when
I
everything
understand.
sounds very similar? It's like if you have kids out there, do you have twins? Do not name them like Pip and Skip, okay? Don't name them similar sounding names.
Oh my god.
Separate them. You got don't name like one like, Roger Dodger, okay? You got to like name one like I don't know, freaking Apple and Android. There you go.
Apple and Android. Okay, that makes
There you
sense. That makes sense.
go. Hmm.
Yeah. um.
Opposites, not similar.
The one I would say from this whole list, I think the one that you were kind of least excited for is the one that I'm excited for, the Callisto Protocol. Just because
Mhm.
I am a fan of like the Dead Space, the original Dead Space. It's probably one of like the I would say yeah, like my first like horror game I guess I played. Um,
Mhm.
and so it's cool to see the original team like working on a new project that's technically like their universe, right, of like the Dead
Yeah.
Space, because I know they're working on a Dead Space remake. I believe EA is.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's interesting to
EA.
see. Yeah, it's interesting to see like the former like studios um
Mm.
doing that. But I'm really excited for Callisto Protocol. I believe that I will probably stream that just because who doesn't like to hear me yell at like maximum
You
volume?
you heard it here first.
Oh my
So
god.
all of you out there who watch him stream can hold him to it. He still has The Walking Dead season 2 and 3 and however many more to get through, and then it's
Yes,
Callisto
definitely.
Protocol.
Yeah,
So,
definitely that
we
first.
have BB's content schedule set until like August, right?
Pretty much, yeah. My
Um
content is pretty booked right now.
yeah. But no,
um.
yeah, go on. I don't want to
Oh no, no, you're good.
interrupt.
It was just pretty much that. That and the Marvel's Midnight Suns. It got pushed back, but honestly, it never really like I might. It's probably one of those games where like I might get it if it's like on sale or something, honestly, because it's not very impactful and it's like a card system they're using instead of like, because at first I will tell you the way they presented it, where they didn't show us gameplay but they said it was like an
Mhm.
XCOM style. I got excited because I was like, oh, I freaking
Oh,
love
that
XCOM.
okay.
I love
Yeah.
XCOM, right? But then the way it started to
Mhm.
kind of form itself, and then they showed gameplay and everything, I was just a little bit more like, I might pass just
Mhm.
because I don't know. It's not. I'm not. I've played card style games like I think it's called Into the Slayer or something. I forget what the name
Mhm.
is, but that's a really good card game. Like I did enjoy it, but I don't know with all these like heroes, and then you get to create your own, and there's like a story. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like super interesting, right?
There's nothing that takes me out of a game more than I'm running around doing whatever, and a fight happens, and then it's cards. I you I don't even have words for how no like it just look. I will give card standalone games like Gwent is a sort of card game standalone from The
Hmm.
Witcher
Yeah,
universe. I've played that. It's not really my thing, but I've played it. It's cool. But it's not like Geralt marches onto the battlefield and then it's a card battle.
yeah.
You know, I can't get into these kinds of games that use card battling as a mechanic.
Mm.
It just
Hmm.
it doesn't work for me because if unless it's unless it's a complete card game, like
Hmm.
I will play a complete card game.
Yeah,
I don't like mixed genre kind of games. If
yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah. I understand.
creating a character, controlling a character, or doing whatever else I'm doing, when I end up doing the battle part, I want that to stay the same. You
Mm.
know,
Okay, I get what you're saying.
like
Yeah.
it's, you know, it just always pulls me out of it when it's like now it's luck of the cards, and it's just kind of like okay. Unless it's kind of something like Yu-Gi-Oh, where like the whole thing is actual card battles.
Yeah,
But even
yeah,
that would have to be done sort of like similar to the style. Like if it's I'm walking around and whatever, it's kind of got to be like like a Pokemon thing where you actually see the monsters battling or whatever,
yeah. I mean,
whatever
and
the
the thing
hell.
is, like, I when I watched the gameplay for it, it does have like, I think the only thing that will probably save this game. I'm not too sure about the story. I like Marvel games, if they're not from like the PS2 era, they don't really have great storytelling anymore. Besides, I mean, I would say like Guardians of the Galaxy had a really, really good story. Spider-Man,
Yeah,
but they're like like those big AAA games that are made by like really good studios, right? Um,
yeah,
so, but with this one, it's like the only thing that I would assume that would kind of save it or at least make it engaging is like the flashiness of like the moves, because like you do see the characters like do like specific moves, and you can do like combos or something. I'm not too sure, but I feel like that's probably what's going to be the biggest thing on it. It's like seeing your favorite character, like Marvel character, like do the whole action thing, like sequence or whatever. But
yeah. And
yeah.
I hope for it to be a success because like I feel like we haven't had a really successful Marvel property in a while in terms of games.
Hmm.
Aside from like Guardians of the Galaxy, which was a surprise hit, right?
Yeah.
Like nobody was expecting that
Yeah, no,
because
yeah, I think that one caught everyone by, yeah, definitely by surprise.
yeah, nobody was really surprised or nobody was expecting it.
Hmm.
Spider-Man technically yes is Marvel, but that's also Sony, so it's a bit of a
Yeah.
difference. I'm talking like Marvel Studios itself. They laid that fucking wet fart in church that was the Avengers, and
God.
then we haven't really had much else. So
Hmm.
hopefully, I would hope. I don't know that this is it, but it does
Yeah.
have the one thing that I always say a Marvel game in today's world should have: the ability to create a hero,
Yep.
which I think the Avengers
Definitely.
game missed so much,
Hmm.
and I've spoke about it
Yeah.
ad nauseum. Would have been great to be able to create your own hero.
Oh
So
my
this game kind of
gosh.
does it.
Especially with the live
So
service. That would have been such a great, like, I would have preferred it was a single player game, or if it was co-op,
yeah,
okay. But like they made it live service, they could have just went the make your own hero route, and then, the Avengers are your team or whatever that trains you.
yep.
But
But time will tell. You guys won't know on
mhm,
this episode, on this slate of episodes, what'll happen because we're all filming in one day. But time will tell what happens with these games,
yeah,
and I hope for the best for them. I hope for smooth launches, whether I'm interested in them or not. And I hope that the fan bases that are excited for these games get the product that they want.
definitely, definitely. But talking about new things, okay? Something
Yes,
that
sir.
that happened in the community. at least our community. Um,
One of the reasons why we weren't filming.
yeah,
Mm.
something that I'm
Well,
so excited for, Jay. What would that be?
yeah.
What would that be that we're
Uh,
super
it
excited
would
for?
be our new Cube Rule merch.
Excuse me?
Let me tell you.
Oh God.
No, it
No, that
is.
would be the day, bro. That would be the day. Oh my God.
It is, of course, the Halo League of the Chosen. We are finally transitioning from a tournament format to a league format, which leads to a tournament. So, if I can indulge a little bit of TLDR background, um, in BB and I met sort of through this
Yeah,
process.
pretty much, yeah.
That's kind of how BB and I met. Um, at the end of 2020, I started hearing a lot of people who like to play Halo. And so I had the idea of doing just sort of a day of Halo. And it kind of, sputtered and puttered out. A lot of people were like, yeah, that sounds great. And shout out to Fletman, who
Yes.
kept that train
Super
moving
shout out.
along. And it was Fletman who mentioned it to BB on BB's stream and had mentioned BB to me on my stream, and sort of, I think BB and I started communicating a little bit, and the idea of doing we had 8 people. The idea of doing a community tournament sprung up, and in July of 2021 we did that, and it was massively successful.
Oh
We
yeah.
had a ton of fun, as did everybody involved, and it was great. And what ended up coming from that was interest grew. People were like, "Are you doing this again? I want to be a part of it."
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the idea at first was, "Hey, this wasn't so bad. We can do one, sort of seasonally." Oh, how naive we were.
Yeah.
So, but we ended up getting actually the second one off the ground in November of 2021, and it was bigger and it was much more production value, but it also was like the broadcast went on a fucking Jurassic Age.
Yes, it did, yeah.
Um, and so we intended to do one in the spring of 2022, right? Yeah, it was
Yeah,
spring of
yeah.
2022, and it just didn't work. The schedules were not working with us. So then we was like, okay, we'll push it back, because we were also going to use Infinite,
Oh yeah.
and Halo Infinite just was a technical mess at the time. So we
Mhm.
made the decision to push it back to the summer of 2022, and we switched the game as well to Halo 2 Anniversary as part of the Master Chief Collection. And it kind of, again, it was just sputtering along. It was kind of puttering out and trying to get enough people together to do this third tournament. I've never given birth, and I will never give birth, but I imagine trying to schedule this tournament was as close as I'll ever come to birthing a Buick, and I never want to do that again. The scheduling nightmare. BB and I joked that we could write a book about the behind the scenes
Oh my
of that.
God, that was wow.
Yeah. So
I want to
out
give
of all of
real
that,
quick though. I just want to give a shout out to the people who were helping us during that time though. Oh my
oh yeah,
God.
yeah,
That
and
was crazy.
shout out to everybody who chipped in and participated and
Yeah.
helped and just really made it, because those of you out there do not know how close it was to just not being a thing.
Mhm. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was very, very close to just not being tenable at all. So out of that, we ended up doing the tournament on multiple days and all this other stuff. In the end, it was fun. I enjoyed it, and I think the people participating did, and we had some good matches and all that stuff. But in the end, what we realized was that as the world is sort of opening back to normal and people's lives are less centered around their home, um, their schedules are not as open as they used to be. So we wanted to keep this alive, right? And so we came up with the idea of the league, which is something we'd been toying with since we first did this tournament.
Mhm.
It was always like, man, wouldn't it be good? Wouldn't it be cool if we could create our own esports league? And so we did that. And now, starting in January, in a little over a month, 5 weeks, I think, from now, or six
Yeah.
weeks, we'll have the first event, the kickoff event. We've got people signed up and everything, and we've laid out the rules. BB, would you like me to go over the rules, or I've been given a dissertation here. If you want,
Yeah,
you
you
can
can
turn it over.
go do the overview. That's fine.
Oh, well, okay. So the simple, the long and short of it. is that there is no set schedule. That
Yeah.
was the biggest thing coming out of the third tournament. There is no set schedule. There is, everybody has to face everybody at least once. That's
Yeah.
the only mandate
Yeah.
between January 2023 and October of 2023. Everybody in the league has to face each other once. That's it. Um, we are going to do sort of league broadcasts. We're going to try for once a month, and those who are available and willing on those days, we will facilitate their matches and
Yeah.
show them on stream. But other than that, everybody's got to sort of you know come together and find their time to do it when it's available for them. Either one of the members of the governing committee will be in there
Hmm.
to witness the match, or they'll take screenshots and post it. That's how we'll determine the standings. And we're going through a point system. Each match is a set of three one versus ones, and it's three one versus one games to first to 15 kills in a 10-minute time limit, and each victory gets you a point. So theoretically, one person can come away from a full set with 3 points,
Yeah.
you know,
Hmm.
or it could be 2-1. And I think a tie, I may be a little bit wrong. Somebody may correct me on this. I think a tie is half a point each,
Yeah.
um, in something like that. So, and at the end of and in November is when we'll do the tournament. The fourth tournament will happen in November. And one thing we kind of stressed was that you can be in the league, but that doesn't mean you have to be in the tournament, even if you qualify. You can
Yeah.
want to be in the league, but not want to be in the tournament, and that's fine. However, to get into the tournament, you do have to be in the league.
Yeah.
Um,
And I think that's the
so,
biggest thing because there was a lot of people who didn't want to participate in the tournament because like they wanted to play Halo, but they just didn't want to participate in the tournament. I guess, it's a huge crowd like that we have, right? And like just going over everything. Sometimes it takes a little long or whatever, right? So I love
yeah,
that we have that flexibility now for people who are interested in playing Halo and they're able to participate in a league style way.
yeah, and that was the biggest thing coming from. I think that was the biggest take. I like to say that each time we do a tournament, we learn.
Yeah.
You know, the first tournament we did it on our channel separately, and it kind of was a technical clusterfuck
Oh
in
yeah, it
some
was.
respects,
It was fun, but
and
it definitely was a mess.
yeah. So, from that we learned, okay, we need to be on the same channel.
Mhm.
We set up some, broadcasting things, and now you and I are the broadcasters. And we learn the lessons from the first tournament into the second tournament.
Yeah.
And vice versa. We learn, from the second tournament, okay, this tournament went a fucking Jurassic Age. How can we, sort of cut down on, because I think the second broadcast was 5 hours long,
Mm,
you know how can we cut down on a lot of the fluff, how can we cut down on a lot of the extracurriculars, and
exactly,
how
yeah.
can we sort of float along quicker. And in the third tournament, we learned that what schedules are going to be, it's going to be hard to get everybody together on one day.
Yeah,
um so it's we're going to have to figure out a way to do that. So I think that's kind of what we did with the tournament, and the rule of, look, you don't have to be in the tournament. If you're in the league, you can play all your matches offline and be a part of it, and
mhm,
still be part of this community experience, but not want to be in the tournament. And who knows, maybe being in the community experience will sort of build up the confidence, and you'll have the thing of like, what, I do want to do it, maybe not, whatever, it's fine. It's allowing people the flexibility, I think, was the biggest takeaway from the third tournament.
definitely. I think we're gonna have a lot of people who try to want to like join the tournament after a few like months or so in the league. Just because I noticed there's a few people who just kind of wanted to have fun, but you know how it goes. They have fun,
Mhm.
and the next thing you know, everyone's competitive. I mean, we already had
Yeah,
a little bit of a fire going on right now with certain people who were for the kickoff
hmm,
event. So it's I feel like that's what's gonna happen eventually. But yeah, that
yeah,
was that's it. That's what we've been pretty much doing this whole time.
yeah,
Behind the scenes with all the Halo stuff. And trying to come up with a a way to kind of put more episodes out in
Yeah,
that fashion.
it's been
But
a dual track thing, you know, because the tournament was in, you know, I think, God, what was the tournament in? It was in July,
it
was
was
it
in
not?
July, yeah.
Yeah, early July. So that took that big thing. I went on vacation
Hmm.
at the end of August. You went on vacation recently. You just got back from
Yeah,
vacation,
yeah.
and then trying to figure out how to, you know, getting the league sort of off the
Hmm.
ground
Yeah,
in
pretty
terms
much.
of
Yeah.
setting it up, and then, you know, coming up with sort of how we are here in our sort of formats and things. Before we get off the league, though, and sort of wrap things up, I just want to give a shout out where shout outs are due, and that
Hmm.
is to the governing committee, without whom this would not at all be possible.
Definitely.
And I want to thank BB, who's a part of it, Fletman, Blue Thunder, Gamma, and Sugar. And Blue Thunder and Sugar Goody are the two newest members,
Yeah,
but they are they are what makes this all possible. So a huge shout
definitely.
out to them, and I'm excited for it. I know that Sugar is got some overlays and stuff, a package that at some point we'll work on, and
Yeah, I
you
can't
know,
wait. I can't
and
wait.
also
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
a personalized BB&J get well soon, Sugar. This episode will come out
Definitely.
relatively soonish, so if you follow Sugar Goody, you know what's been going on, and if you don't, you should. Um, but yes, get well soon. And BB, I think we've come to the end of the first episode, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Wow, this is an all-time record. We're pretty 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 short for an
We,
episode. Wow. Like we cut the time in half, which I thought was impossible.
there you go. There you
But
go.
yeah.
We did that. We'll bring you more content
Heck yes.
regularly.
Exactly. But I think this is a good return episode. Jay, thank you so much.
Thank you. I look forward to seeing you all next time. And BB, I look forward to seeing you in like 30 seconds when we start the next.
Yeah. All right. Thank you everyone.
Take care,
Bye.
everybody.